Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Hey, Coach Me Coach Podcast, back in the building. I'm with my man Dom. We got a lot to talk about and a little bit of time to do it. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Let me know everything looks good, sounds good. Let me tell you something, Dom. A lot has gone on in a little bit of time, man. As the thumbnail showing up there, man, we got Cormani McLean. All right, he created a whole storm in college football. A firestorm. That's the word I was looking for. A firestorm in college football. Hey, he's got the Floyd Mayweather effect. You love him or hate him, but everybody watching to see what he's gonna do. And so it's interesting how that's going. Usually on this episode with Don, we don't normally open the phone lines, but we want to do that today. But we're gonna take care of some of the stuff where we're going to talk about some topics and so forth and so on. Before we get to the Cormani part, we know there's been some tragedy when it comes to the University of Georgia, the offensive lineman. Oh my God, how I miss his name. And the Georgia staffer passed away in a car accident here over the weekend, and it's that's tough right there. And our prayers go out to the family and friends and the Georgia family as well of that young man and that staffer. Also, University of Alabama is in the news on the basketball side. One of their players. Talk to us a little bit in regards to that. What have you gathered so far from that, Dom? I'm not really up on it. I have to be very honest. It's so crazy, but what's your thoughts or point of view on it?
So he and another person, the name of what you call counterpart, whatever, was arrested for capital murder. Shot a 23-year-old female in the car. She was sitting in the passenger seat, if I'm not mistaken, and they shot her. And so Darius Miles, who from Alabama, from the DC area, he was actually out for the season recovering with an ankle injury, and he did not shoot her, but he gave the gun. From what the report that I read, he gave the gun to the person who shot her. And so he and his lawyers are working to try to clear his name because they say he's innocent. As far as where he got the gun, they're trying to figure that out. What makes it tricky is that Alabama is an open carry state. So that is pretty much what's going on. But yeah, capital murder charge, 23 years old, has been dismissed from not just the basketball team, but the university as well. So that's what I have read and gathered as of today.
Yeah, and those are the things that are hairy, man. It sounds like a lot of people may say, "Oh, well, he gave him the gun. He didn't pull the trigger." But did he know that that young man was going to go do those type of things and say, "Hey, take my gun," which would be straight idiotic. It's a lot to it, but that's going to be a bill, an astronomical bill, just to get out of that kind of trouble. And it's all about decision making, man, when it comes to these things or whatever the case may be. And that's a whole nother episode for another day in regards to those type of things. But it's so unfortunate, man. I'm gonna push on because I want the people to talk today. We talk all the time. We sometimes get tired of hearing my own voice. I have to be very honest, especially when you have these headphones on and you're trying to listen. You hear your voice. You're tired of listening to yourself talk. I want to hear talk. I want to talk to the team. I want to hear what the team got to say.
Two quick hidden pieces that I just read. Ohio State just picked up a quarterback in the transfer portal. Nice depth piece. Because here's the thing: in this day and age,
who is it?
Tristan Gebbia. He was the starting quarterback for Oregon State. So, hey, former 4-star guy. He is simply a depth piece just in case, because there's going to be a quarterback battle. And I tell you, from what I understand, shout out to my man Alex Gleitman. Works at Buckeye Huddle. He also covers Rutgers recruiting. I work with Alex, great guy. Be sure to give him a follow on or Twitter rather. But He mentioned, that if McCord loses, understandably so, because he would have been in the program his third year, he's gone. And then obviously you got Devin Brown. You did both of their WREs. And then if Devin Brown loses, he will stay. But because the kid that committed is not coming until the summer, then, you just needed that depth. And interestingly enough, Mark Pope got picked, or he is
UMass.
going to UMass.
Yeah,
UMass with the Don Brown, Big Don Brown, aka Dr. Blitz. So that's a
is he the head coach at UMass now? Is he the head coach at UMass?
He is.
Don Brown. Amazing. So great segue. Glad you brought up Ohio State. But anyway, great segue, because as you guys gain a quarterback, the University of Miami is losing one. We're losing Jake Garcia to the transfer portal. I think he's just jumped in.
Really? That's right.
Yeah, I think today he just jumped into the transfer portal today. And so, again, I knew that was going to happen, but also this will be very interesting. Guess who we lost yesterday?
Ohio State, you can't do no guesses with me. I don't know nothing about no Miami.
Dom, 17 days into this new year, you continue to strain this friendship.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry, Miami fans.
Anyway,
hey, I will say this. Go ahead, tell me.
Go ahead.
I ran into a Georgia fan at Publix, and it did not go well. Georgia won, right? 99.999% of Georgia fans have been pleasant, gave Ohio State props, and everybody could admit this. That game was the national championship game compared to TCU, right?
Man,
so tell me how this. Well, listen, my team in the playoffs, y'all not. I just had to say that. But he gonna come and talk trash to me. Y'all shouldn't have been there. Da. You guys are sucked. Georgia, this was my favorite. Georgia got thrown. The reason Georgia played so poorly is because they were thrown off by Ohio State being there. Then he tells me, stupidest thing I've ever heard. Then he tells me, well, Ohio State has been robbing people for the past 20 years. Did you watch that Miami game in 2002? I said yes. And yes, basically the Georgia fan thinks that Miami got robbed in 2002. So you guys have a fan. And that's all I'm going to say about the gentleman. But go ahead to your little Canes news and tell me what's going on.
So apparently, you got to get you some buttons. You got to get you some buttons over here, Don. So
hey,
we lost. We lost Jake Garcia, the quarterback, but we lost Frank, who was the quarterback coach. He was going back to App State as the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. Dun, dun, dun. Does Jake Garcia go to App State? Be interesting to find out, but we'll definitely see.
That would be a good fit.
It may be a good fit. Who knows? But we'll find out real quick. So, also, they say Ja'Kai Clark has entered the portal. Like, this stuff, think about the three components we lost. A quarterback, a center, and the quarterback's coach.
Three. Yeah. Well, the quarterback in the center is brutal. Because you got the center sets the offensive line.
Think about all three of those pieces. Like, why do those three pieces think they may be moving together? I don't know. I'm not going to dwell on that because I want the people to get in. We already 10 minutes in. We got 100 people in the building. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe button. We're on the road to 30,000. We are literally just a little bit more than 500 people away. We're trying to get there by February 1st. So make sure you help us out by hitting the like button if you're new to the channel. Don't just watch it. Hit it. It's free. You know what I mean? Dom giving out free like buttons and subscribe buttons today. You know what I mean? Even got his red shirt on for subscribe button. It's subscribe button Tuesday. You understand me?
And notification bell Tuesday. Yep. Because as soon as you hit subscribe, you got to hit that notification bell.
Coach spreading conspiracy theories. Hey, some people say the world flat. I say the quarterback, the center, and the coach might be going together. So That's me. That's how I live. And
Hey,
crop
it's
circle
not a
is not
conspiracy theory until it's proven true. Unless it's proven false. So he could be spitting out gospel. You don't know.
We might. We'll find out. All right. Let's lead on into Cormani McLean. Somebody brought this up already. I definitely want to bring this up. The title of the show is Players Are Using Their Power. And we talked about this with Cormani McLean. This is what I want the fan base, the team, to call in and discuss. Is it right or wrong that players are using their power? Is it right or wrong that a kid is not committing on your timeline? Is it right or wrong? These are just several questions I want to pose to the team in regards to when you come on, you have something to talk about. Is it right or wrong that players have an opportunity to use their power for their own future? And two, do they have to sign when you want them to sign? Now, it's an easy way to say no. I know those are easy answers to answer, but guess what? The Twitter sphere, the comment section, I just saw one guy that was a former Cane. Y'all correct me who he is. I think he played for the Carolina Panthers. I forget his name, O lineman or D lineman. He said, why don't y'all just pull Cormani's offer, let him go on to Colorado? Just pull it. Like, to me, that's selfish, bro. Like, that's true. And I think that was Lance Leggett. I may be wrong, but I think Lance Leggett said, well, dog, did you take your offer? Did you take your
did see that. I did see
Yeah.
that. You're right. I did see that.
All right. So I just want to pose those questions. And then my second point is, and Dom, I'm going to let you run with it after this. There's now a big push that On3 has now dropped him to a 4-star, and he is currently now the number 46 player in the country in the class of 2023. I don't know what On3 had. I don't know what On3 had him ranked as previously or during this whole period, but I know they had him consensus. Yeah, they had him consensus.
He was. Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying they had him at a consensus 5-star. That we know, but I don't know what his current ranking was in that deal. But now he is currently 46, I believe, on the On3. I don't think 247 and the other sites have changed theirs as of yet.
It was between 15 and 24. And I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just thinking out loud. Two quick things to your point. There's too many, and I'll do the second part first, and then we'll jump in after I answer the first part. There's too many recruiting sites, ranking sites out there. There's On3, there's 247, there's ESPN, there's Rivals. And they all go by different metrics. There's a huge part of me that would like to say none of them really know too much of what they're talking about. Peter was 65. You see, didn't I just prove my point, Hayes? Didn't I just say they don't know what they're talking about? Yes. So, like,
how do you
for example,
drop?
This is what
he killed the All-Star game. He killed the All-Star game.
This is what I was told one time, Hayes. It's about camps and money. And you on this show, you told me about your experience with Joe Milton. And he goes and throws out a camp, oh, we'll pay X amount of dollars to drive to this camp. Because here's me. If you watch the game tape, you would know that there are 5 defensive tackles that stand out above the rest. Number 1, Peter Woods. Number 2, John Walker. Number 3, Caden McDonald from Georgia. Number 4, Jordan Hall. Who's number 2 then?
Ruben Bain.
Oh, because I'm thinking I have his as a defensive end. I'm talking defensive tackles.
Oh, okay, all right. I apologize.
I'm talking defensive tackles. Yeah, I'm talking defensive tackles. Number 4. Well, you can interchange 3 and 4. Hall, Jordan Hall, the kid who dominated the Under Armour game. And Brandon Ennis, I'm glad, brother man, you dropped that. I'm gonna get to him in a second. But the eye test tells you that Ruben Bain had like 50 sacks in 2 years. Listen, to me, it's production. The league down in South Florida, there's 2 leagues in these United States that are the toughest leagues. It's the league down there in South Florida with Central, Northwestern, and all those schools, plus the Trinity League out in California with Mater Dei and St. John Bosco. So the eye test is gone. Hey, we just measure these kids on how good they're going to be on shirts and shorts. So the whole recruiting ranking is flawed. I'm glad that you brought up Brandon Ennis, because I look at his recruitment, and Hayes, this will answer your first question, man. This will answer your first question. I love how he handled his recruitment. And this is why I'm not, you see, if you're a player and you are serious about this, you need to take as long as you need to make a well-informed, educated business decision. Business decision. Not all in the family, but a business decision. Do you love the school that you're going to? The academics, what are you going to get out of it? Are you going to be properly developed? Brandon Enos, he committed to Oklahoma, right? Well, guess what? He bounces. Lincoln Riley bounces. He don't follow him to USC like all the recruiting sites said. He didn't do that. He took his time, committed to Ohio State, who he visited before. So there was a previous relationship. So what happens? He's supposed to sign in December. Brian Hartline, there's rumors that Brian Hartline is going to maybe take another coaching job. So what did he say after the playoff game? I'm not going to sign in December anymore because I need to sit back and make sure that he's not going to leave. I need to see what's going to happen. Hartline and Ryan Day got involved in that recruitment. He signed in December. He's enrolled. I think that's how you handle it. How you handle it. Take advantage, because here's the thing. Coaches can bounce, can leave. Listen, they could get another opportunity. That's why I hate this loyalty crap. And fans, you may come at me, but I'm sorry. That's okay. He's not loyal to our program. He don't owe you nothing. He doesn't owe you nothing. Okay, so we have full-time jobs, right? You know, at any moment before we sign a contract, we can give a verbal agreement, but the next day, if they like somebody else that's more qualified than us, then they can take him. That's the way of the world. That's recruiting. That's why you have to recruit more than one player. That's why you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Here's the thing. As great as Cormani McLean is from a high school level, and I'm sure he's going to do well at a college level, he's one dude. I understand we talk about the difference makers versus playmakers. But now you're living in the age of the transfer portal. Look, that's just the way it is. Cormani could be back in Miami in two years if Deion decides to go take a job at Florida State or some crap. We know. You don't know that. So I personally, I'm not. You can't pull that kid's offer. Fine. Don't let him jerk you around. But at the same time, I'm telling the kid, listen, we got a spot. If you want it, it's yours. But we got to go look for other people. You got to look out for yourself too. You don't have to pull it. But here's the thing. If he does end up at Colorado, it's not this, oh my God, the world is ending. So that's just my 2 cents on it.
So here's how I look at it, right? And I hear what people are saying. The way Brandon Enos handled that, I believe, was adult, perfect, but it also shows that he has people around him who are guiding him in the correct way to navigate this difficult process. I say this outright. I'm not saying Cormani McLean should not go to Colorado and visit and do the things he's supposed to do and so forth and so on. I think he handled it the wrong way in the sense of maybe just going on a visit and not telling Miami. Why does he have to tell Miami? Because he's committed to Miami. Well, he verbally committed to Miami. And optically, as a university, 1, you can get in front of these type of things. 2, you don't waste people's time. The entire staff, I can't say the entire staff, but a large percentage of the staff goes up to Lakeland to visit, and he's not there. He's gone. Mm-hmm. Those things are bad business. And here's why I say, I've said this before, I say this again, and I'm going to be done with it. These are human beings who spend a lot of time, effort, and energy in the recruiting process. Phone calls, late night, you call them. They might be having dinner with their wife and kids. You call them in the middle. You think he's not going to answer? Of course. What did he do? He just interrupted family time for you. So he made a sacrifice in that sense. And this we're just talking about common courtesy, right? Now, here's why I say it gets dangerous. I've seen this and this has happened. That coach now becomes your coach later on, somewhere down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows if Jamil Adai won't become your DB coach in the league someday, or maybe at Colorado or wherever. These guys are nasty. Here's a prime example. You brought up Joe Milton. Joe Milton was being recruited by the University of Florida, right? That was his dream school. Coming out of Pahokee, it's a big tie with University of Florida and Pahokee, right? Didn't really like it too much. Didn't really like man. McElwain was the coach there, right? I said, Joe, you're gonna handle this the right way. Coach, I thank you. I'm not really interested, but I appreciate everything you've done. Handle it the right way. Don't jerk them around. If you're not interested, let's move on. Here's why that's important. Guess who became the receiver coach at Michigan? Guess. Jim McElwain. He only went there for a year, but imagine he as the coach. Now he's in the staff meetings bad mouthing. Oh, he don't understand the route timing of the throws and woo, 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 woo. Just because if you handle him dirty, he gonna get you dirty on the back end. I'm not saying it's right. He's a grown man, but you're gonna risk immature adults with your future that you only get a few shots at. Handle things professionally, handle things right, handle things the correct way. And if a dude still does that, then guess what? You can fight that. You know what I mean? But anyhow, that's what it is. I just want to kind of put that out there with him. So that was the only thing I think that he did wrong, was that if you're going to do that, you got to tell him because you were committed to them, because you verbally committed to the University of Miami. If he decides to go to Colorado, I do that. Now, I want to address this and then we're going to move on. Pilo says, I agree we should have pulled his offer because he should have got his little prime visit out the way a long time ago. You visit another school the same weekend, early recruits. Well, that's not fair to him because Prime didn't get the job until after he committed to Miami.
Right.
Creates a new
and
dynamic.
He didn't commit, and he wasn't enrolling early. Cormani's not enrolled early, so I don't think
so I don't think that's fair. I don't think so. I know what you mean, but I don't think that's fair. And I want to see one more thought by David. I think it was David I saw up here. Here we go. David Scott, says, love your show, Coach Hayes. The optics of this past weekend are horrific. I wish the young man the best, but we should pull his offer and reroute that NIL elsewhere. Well, I'm going to bring the reason I brought that up because I want to bring this up to you. JTT did that. Top player in the country, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens? What happens if Ryan Day gets in his panties in a bunch and he gets emotional and he pulls his offer? Imagine all the plays that JT made for y'all this year.
Ohio State. Yeah, you listen. Ohio State loses. Ohio State's not in the playoff if it wasn't for JT Tuimoloau. That Penn State game, Ohio State loses that game. You're exactly right. And to your point, that kid didn't talk to anybody really except he didn't talk to any recruiter. He wasn't for the attention and stuff. He made it clear. He wanted, and you talked about this, he handled it like a professional. He wanted to play basketball. He wanted to finish out his school year. And he waited to the last minute, did the visits, was in contact with everybody. And from what I understand, was very respectful and was humble in the process and everything. And you're right. Listen, they showed up to the airport with Lays and all this stuff. You would have thought the president was coming. So I mean, you telling the truth, man. And again, to your point, remember Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon was going to commit to Ohio State. Well, Ohio State took J.K. Dobbins. Trey Sermon did not want to be the second running back. But because he and the running back coach, because of how it was handled, to your point, running back coach gave him a call, and they were able to vouch for him, pick the relationship up, and, the rest is history. So you make a great point on all accounts.
Yeah. See, people say at the IG post with the Tampa marker, he probably was in Tampa at the airport when he put that there.
That could be.
He said he was
See,
he probably at the time he took that, he was in Tampa, right? Because where's the airport that you fly out of in Lakeland? Tampa or Orlando? Because he lives in Lakeland. He lives in. So I get what y'all saying.
He could have been in the seat, and right before he turned his phone on airplane mode, you know what I'm saying? All you got to do is put your hand over the camera.
Hey, bro, 10,000 feet in the sky over Tampa land is still Tampa. I always remember that. Tampa. But anyway, Brian Leftwich gets fired today. That's breaking news to me, man. I've been so busy. That's unfortunate, man. He's done a lot. I don't understand. I understand. It's not a shut up, Hayes. Stop lying to yourself and lying to these people. You understand why people get fired. Brian Leftwich gets fired, but he's the same dude that technically nobody wants to give him his credit, but he coached Tom Brady, right? He was the quarterback coach, goes to the Super Bowl. To me, I have to be honest. I look at that game. Tom Brady arm is not the same, bro.
He's 55 years old.
You can see it. You can see it. It's like those little intermediate routes, they coming short. And I understand he's 45. I understand. Hopefully, 45. Brian Leftwich, I think he will. He will land on his feet. And maybe he'll get a job. Maybe he'll take the job. If Ed Reed leave Bethune, he'll get a job at Bethune and he could go ahead and run that thing up, man. Who knows? I'm gonna leave that there. Big shout out before we open the phone line. Reggie, I got your email. Appreciate it, man. Read that for me. And if you got time tonight, do what I said on that for me, man. If you do, Reggie, want to talk to you. All right. Any other last words you want to say before we open up this phone line? We got 291 people in the building. Hit the like button, subscribe button on the road to 30K, baby. Let's get it. Talk to us, Don.
Let's do it. I'm good, man. I think the Chargers fired their offensive coordinator too. So listen, this. If you blowing leads like that, I don't think that's on the offensive coordinator.
Take Leftwich over there, man. That's hilarious. Hey, that'd be interesting to find out where he find. I don't think he wants a college job. I think he wants to stay in the NFL and do his thing. We got a call on the line right now. Big shout out to Smooth. Call on the line, 414 area code. Call and talk to us. What's your thoughts on players keeping their power, especially these top players keeping their power in the recruiting process? Are they right or wrong for doing it? Talk to us.
This is old school from Chicago.
Old school from Shot. What's up with you, man?
It's all good, Coach. Thanks again for answering my call. Every time I call you, I try to get to you, and I be praying that I do, and God answer my prayer. You answer my call. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you answering it. But back to your question. I see a real good future with that, Coach. I've been, like I said, I've been praying for a lot of things, and that's one of the things I've been praying for the players to start getting paid. That way they won't be getting that money under the table. You know, that way them universities like Alabama and USC and all them big schools that was paying them a whole lot of good, and Miami too. Thank you, Coach, for reminding me. Paying them a whole lot of good money under the table, and that was going on real good, and they was getting all that good talent. See, now that money is spread out. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm gonna come real close so you can smack me too, Coach. I see that look on your face. But that money is being spread out right now. And thank you. And I'm glad that's what's going on. So, you know, guys like that guy out there, what is his name? The Super Mario? Well, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for guys like that to make it in the league now, because they got to do some work now. First of all, they got to work on their personality. But,
I got you.
I'm going to let you talk right now, Coach. Hey, Coach, as a matter of fact, before I get to that, Coach, I wanted to get back at you the other day when you was talking about Deion. Look, Coach, I thought you had seek help for that, and you was right about that. You was wrong about Deion, and now you seem like you going right back to the other side, Coach.
What you mean,
Coach? A little bit.
What you mean?
It seems like it seems like you know why this. You know why you just about 5 minutes ago. You said you wonder why. You said, yeah, I know why things are changing. Things are changing because Deion came into the picture now. He changing it, Coach. You got to look at that, Coach.
Hold on. What did I say? Hold on. Shy, you talking super fast. Hold on. What did I say now?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, what did I say?
Okay, you had made mention. I like even about Mario. There's Mario. You had made mention like you don't understand why things are changing like that. Why these players are? I guess you would make reference to why these players aren't going along with the programs like Miami, Alabama, when it's all there in their face and they take another direction. That other direction is due to Deion Sanders. And the question to what you were saying about first, what that got to do with the players getting paid? They can get paid out there in Colorado and get publicity.
So here's the difference.
And
hold on, I'm gonna just say this. The difference is a lot of times I pose questions to create conversation, not necessarily my point of view.
I know it.
So no, I'm not wavering. I apologize what I said for Deion. I understand what the Deion effect is. I totally get it. So when I say things like, why are players not making these decisions? Those are more of questions that you pose to create conversation more than maybe my point of view. But that's what it is. Okay. Hopefully, I'm not wavering.
Right. And I had noticed that because remember when you had Shaq, I was referring to the part when you had Shaq on. And I wanted to talk to Shaq to let him know, look, Shaq, you got to get over that. Deion is not back in the. He moved on from that. It seemed like Shaq did move on from it, and it seemed like you did too much move on from it too a little bit. Maybe I might be wrong.
I don't know who Shaq is, though. You sure you was looking at my
No, remember the guy that was with you the other day, the brother that was with you a couple of days ago.
Randall?
His name Shaq?
No, his name is Randall.
What is his name? I thought you called him Shaq. I thought you referred to him as Shaq. The brother that was with you.
Shad. You talking about Shad, 1419.
Okay, well, come on. Am I behind or are you behind?
No, you used the wrong letter on the end. You said Shaq.
Oh.
And then Shad. Yes, so threw me off. I got you.
Yeah.
But say.
Yeah, see, look, hey, okay, I'm gonna let it go right now, Coach. But this is what DB said, Coach. This is what DB said. He was right. He said some people Deion Sanders can't slow down right now because some people got to catch up. So he can't slow down for them to catch up. Y'all got to catch up with what he's doing.
That's right. You 100% right, I love you,
boy,
dog.
Coach, I love you, boy.
I love you too.
Put me in, Coach. Put me in, Coach, anytime. Coach, don't stop putting me in, Coach.
Hey, I just want to say this before you go.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Congratulations. And take this one on the road with you, man. Get up out of here with that foolishness. One more for the road. Get out of here, man. Love you, bro. Take it easy, man. All right, we got another call on the line. Back of my hand hurt. The front of my hand hurt. I had to give him the business.
Backhand.
Dom, could you decipher what was going on? I have no idea.
No. Something about
right.
Deion and okay.
I was just saying we'll move on
to the call. Yeah.
757 area code in the building. Call in. I'm gonna limit you to really 2 minutes. I don't have the timer set up on the screen. So guess what? That call right there reminded me I got to get the timer on this screen. So because we don't normally do calls on this channel on this show here, but we're gonna do it. 757 in the building. Call and talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, Coach. I'm calling from Georgia. I got a Virginia phone number. I just want to talk to you right quick.
Hampton Roads. Talk to me. I know that number well. 757. Talk to me.
Yo, do you think we should bring that turnover chain back? Like you got when we were watching the Georgia game, right? And you seen when every time a turnover happened, guess what them boys put that bulldog, that spike on. You know what I'm saying? If we bring that turnover chain back, do you think it'll help us out a lot? You see how the hype we had when we had that turnover chain, but you think if we bring that thing back next year, you think it'll make us that defense, look a lot better and everything? Just give me your opinion on that.
So here's my quick opinion. One, they will never bring it back because it's tied to Manny Diaz. That's the first. If it wasn't tied to Manny Diaz, they would have never got rid of it. If that was a Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson, a championship-winning coach tradition, they would not have gotten rid of it, right? That's first. Second, things like that do bring a hypeness, okay? It really does. It does bring a hypeness to it. It's an incentive. It motivates. It does those type of things. We can say what we want to say. Well, when we get blown out by 40 and 50, don't bring it out. Well, if you want, as a head coach, you want to set some parameters around it, I totally get it. But the chain will never return simply because it was tied to Manny Diaz. I have to be very honest. Now, if Cristobal may come up with something new, I don't know. Everybody get a shot of Cuban coffee if you get a thing with a gold cup or something. I don't know, but I'm just saying it won't be the chain. It may be something else, but it won't be the chain because people want to call that gimmicky. But we are trendsetters at the U, and look at what we've done.
Yeah, we made it famous, Coach.
The almighty Georgia, they went and got shoulder pad. I don't know if they were doing it before us or not, but I don't think so. They may have had shoulder pad, but I don't think they were doing it for tournament. I don't know. I may be wrong. Reggie, you can check me on that. Alabama, they do something now, the championship belt or something like that. I mean, teams have done it. A lot of teams have gotten away from it. One team did some with a basketball, dunking the football in a garbage can or some stupidness. Florida State tried to bring the little purse out. But anyway, all that being said, it is what it is. If they do it, it'll be something under Cristobal's regime. And he's not that type of dude. He's an old school cat. He doesn't care about that kind of stuff. So I appreciate it, man. Dom, any response to that? Does Ohio State do anything like that? I think they get a couple of Buckeyes and they kind of try to crack them open or something.
Our defense is too bad for us to be doing stuff like that, but no, they haven't done anything like that. I would be interested. I did see, what was it? I saw a turnover chainsaw.
We did get better. We did get better as a defense once we had that motivation.
Yeah.
Is this Miami or?
Well, you're talking
Miami. Be honest. Come on.
Okay, well then I'm out of this conversation then.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest.
Mentality, so.
Cool. Yeah, I'm cool. I like the sticker thing, right? But that's me. But anyway, I have to be very honest. I know I used to have stuff like that. I got it sitting right over here, my big lightning bolt and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, different coaches handle things different ways. At the end of the day, all of that stuff, it may enhance, but it's not the reason you win the game, right?
Gotcha.
And I'm going to tell you, here's a perfect example. University of Georgia, University of Alabama, they don't have a bunch of alternate uniforms, but they show whipping people. Oregon, got 30,000 different uniforms and still haven't won one. So all of those things are good. They're attractors. They do that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's about X's and O's and Jimmy's and Joe's, and that's what it comes down to.
All right. Respect, Coach.
All day.
I'm good.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for following.
Coach. I love listening to you, Coach.
I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, real quick, ready for the $5 Coach. Next time, dude, call him again. Turn on the closed captions. Reggie. Behind out here with that foolishness, Reggie. This guy, Reggie, you out of control. I'm not bothered. Reggie, get off my line. I'm not messing with you, man. Also, CWOA Frank Alvarez, appreciate you, man. 199 says Reggie Wayne for OC. He's coaching right now at the Colts. Am I correct? I think he's the receiver coach at the Colts.
Yeah, receivers coach.
Hello, Coach.
That'll be interesting to find out. We got a call on the line. A big thing
Yeah,
popped
this
up.
is G-Man from Chicago.
All right, we got another Shot-Town, 708. Talk to me. I'm a little scared of y'all Shot-Town because a big thing came up, said scam caller. So I don't know what's going on with that. But
No.
Might have checked
Now,
that
what I
out.
was going to say, a few days ago, the NCAA college basketball had passed a thing about the portal because of the prime effect. Prime, have a lot of peak players coming over from the portal. So they didn't pass the thing in the college football that's in the portal. If they have passed through the portal before as playing for another school, they cannot play that year. You look it up. It's real. They had made a voting on this Saturday.
Yeah, they say you have a one-time
This past
transfer, which
Saturday.
is a lie. JT Daniels done been to 4 different schools. But anyway,
Yeah,
Mark Pope done been to 3 different schools. So, they say
some
you
of the
get a
players
one-time
that's coming
transfer.
through the portal,
Uh-huh.
they won't be able to play. Start.
Okay, so I get that. I think we all kind of see that and understand it. But go ahead, talk to us.
Yeah. So they doing this because I'm not getting your sound. I'm not hearing you.
I wasn't saying anything. I was waiting for you to finish. Go ahead.
Okay. they doing this because of the prime effect. See, he getting a lot of players coming through the portal, and and so they stopping this before it gets really out of hand. So some of the players that have been committed to different schools and then changed over maybe once or twice, they're not going to be able to play following year. Once they transfer to their school through the portal, they won't be able to play that year. So they giving them something like they have to have an excuse or something bad that where they're injured or something like that to order to transfer and play for that particular school that year.
I got
you. They all implemented this in a few days ago because of what's going on with Prime Dion.
I'm gonna have to do some investigation. So listen, based on what you're telling me, it doesn't sound like anything new, but I may have to do some investigating on what he's talking about. Unless Dom, you just put up something right here.
Yeah, the Oracle. Yeah, so about that the other day.
The Oracle. You speak of the Oracle?
She kind of spoke about that a few days ago about that.
Okay. Go ahead.
So
go ahead, Dom.
So pretty much the rule is specifically for undergraduates. So if you're a freshman and you're portal hopping after 2 times, there's a specific set of guidelines that you have to meet in order for you to go play for the school. But if you're already a graduate, then it really doesn't apply to you. So this is more undergrads who are just hopping. So, guy like JT Daniels, I guess he's okay. At this point, he need to go play for like Mount Union or something like that, or
but I'm just saying, why would they change that? Do all of this now?
I don't think.
Again, you're right. That may be for the undergrad with Prime, but they get one shot at it. So
I'll be honest, I don't think it has as much to do with Dion as much as you have a big old log jam in the portal right now of like 2,000 players, and you're having to sort through eligibility issues, and you're trying to fill out your rosters and stuff like that. I mean, because here's the thing with Dion, it was being done before Dion. I believe it was North Texas. They actually took, I think, maybe 5 to 10 recruits and went and took 20 dudes from the portal. So,
listen, caller. I thank you, man. Our coach is going to investigate that. I'll bring that up on the next one because I didn't know that. So I thank you, man. I'm gonna push on because we got a couple more. We got to get off here. We got about 15 minutes left.
All right, coach.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Hey, man, they say you got to put that. I ain't changing the tree.
Off of.
I'm too
put
lazy.
That tree on off of, dog.
Hey, January 31st is go down.
You heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen. January 31st is going down. Now, I don't rush that man off the phone. Y'all stop calling. Y'all call on in. Let's talk about it. Nobody has yet called in and talked about the topic. That's the thing. Y'all ain't gonna hijack this show up in here today. Because Coach got something for all y'all. Y'all saw how y'all stop playing. Y'all call in here, and I want to hear, do the players have the right to keep their power and do their thing? Dom said that's his lucky tree. Y'all better stop playing. Huh?
Hey, can you hear me still?
Yeah. I got you back. I just want to.
Oh, okay. There we go. I was like, honestly, man, I'm just too lazy. I got to find a place to put it. Got to clean it off. I ain't trying to do all that, So, January 31st. That's my.
Somebody said there's a curb outside. You could put it.
Nah, I paid too much for this tree a couple years ago. This was $32. I ain't putting that on the curb.
All right, we got a call on the line. I got my man Shad 1419, aka Shaq, as my man called him earlier. Shad, talk to us, baby. What's your thoughts on the deal, man?
Can you hear me pretty good?
Nah, you real low.
Okay, hold up. What about now?
Perfect. Talk to us.
Okay. Yeah, as far as just to talk about the subject matter, I do think that the players do need to be able to do that. Be able to get their, just get some semblance of power, because I think one of the things that this early signing day has done it's kind of made fan bases forget that you still have a regular signing day.
Mm-hmm.
And I would even venture to say that maybe a lot of these kids should actually push it out and commit on the regular signing day versus doing it on the early signing day, just especially for a situation like what happened with Dion, in terms of a player may want to go visit a team and the coach is not in place until basically the first of the year, especially in a situation like that.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that, Shad, and Dom, I'll definitely let you jump in. What's funny is it goes deeper than this, because a lot of people are saying, why are these kids enrolling early? Well, here go a quick history lesson. We got 322 people in the building. Appreciate it. What has now happened is, I'm going to go through the little curriculum lesson right quick. You still need 24 credits to graduate. Okay? Here's the problem. Kids are taking 7 periods a day. They're not taking 6, because 6 times 4 is 24. Kids are now taking 7. So that gives you 28 if you go all 4 years. So you're 4 credits beyond what you need, as well as they have online courses that they can take in the summer and accelerate. That's how you can knock out and graduate early, first of all. That's how a lot of kids are doing. I know you may know that, Shad. I'm just kind of educating the fan base here. So that's why you get so many kids. So now that you have early signing day, it was done to help kids and actually kind of cheat the system to get players in early and get them acclimated to college. I think he had a great premise behind it. The bad part about it is, if you don't sign early and you're a dude that's maybe on the fence, or you're a cat here, you may just lose your spot. You understand? Now, if you're a commodity team, if you're one of these top dudes or whatever the case may be, you can play that game. But can Marcellus Pulliam for Miami Hurricanes, can he play that game with Miami? Probably not. You see what I mean? He doesn't have the power. That's back to your point, Shad. He's powerless. He has to choose the school that chooses him. Cormani can choose the school that he wants to choose, and that's where the power lies. Dom, any response to that?
These kids want to see the field as early as they can, and honestly, one of the biggest advantages you have is spring football. So, if you go to a private school, you are not I have to try to finish this answer. But I'm going to look at But if you go to a private school, you don't have that, luxury of, enrolling early. But these kids, they want to see the field. You go in, in the fall, or I'm sorry, in the winter, you get a chance to get acclimated to the strength and conditioning program. You get a chance to get acclimated to school. In addition to that, you get the opportunity to learn the playbook, get with the coaching staff that gives you an advantage to get on the field as a freshman. So, that's kind of a big point of emphasis as well.
Chad, you still there, buddy?
No, I
Okay.
I agree. I just think, I'm still here. I was just thinking about, you had a situation where the players or the coaches would keep a coach employed just long enough to get the player committed, and then he released, he lets him go after the player's committed. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I kind of say maybe they should push it out, so coaches still don't have that particular, card in the, in their back pocket. I was kind of looking at it from that vantage point as well.
I totally got you.
Yeah, that was a good point. Because you're right, it does put the player, and that's why I brought up, the Brandon Enos thing. He was not, I don't know. He just said pretty much, I'm going to wait to make sure that my coach is going to be here, instead of, being in a situation where you get on campus, then your coach is, he leaves and everything. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like you said, I think he handled it right. And to your point, Shay, you're not wrong. But a lot of people are, I think there's a lot of players. There's only a few players that wield that power, right? Of picking the school they want to go to versus the school picking them. So far as a certain status, if that kind of makes sense, what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's why I was saying I didn't know this I know, I thought the conversation that the point that you were making was like the top players were doing that. I didn't know you were saying that.
No. I'm talking about players. No.
That's why I kind of.
Well, no, you're right. I was talking about the top players, meaning
Okay.
should they be in a hurry to sign? Should
No.
Cormani McLean, should say the top 25 players, unless they just truly know to the bottom of their heart, should they be in a hurry to sign? I would take my time. If I'm a top dude, I'm a JTT that thing.
Yes.
I'm going to make sure. Because here's why I say that. Hold on. But here's why I say that, Shad.
Okay.
Look what's going on right now. Because we are a lot of Miami fans in here. After all this time, now the quarterback coach gone. Now the offensive coordinator is about to be gone. So you have now signed that paper, huh? And here's what I'm trying to tell people. Y'all keep talking about that family. What? I know y'all gonna disagree with me, but follow me. Let's just say, for example, Ray Joseph had a great relationship with Frank Ponce or Josh Gaddis, right? Let's
Who's
just
not
say,
gone, by the way.
Yeah, he's not going, but let's just now leaves after all of this. I have now signed on the dotted line. There was no rumblings of him leaving, blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden, he's gone. I have signed my my NLI, my national letter of intent. All of this stuff. Coach Ponce is gone. Coach Gaddis is gone. I'm an offensive player, and now I have no idea what the offense is going to look like in the future. Only thing I have is what these YouTubers around the country. Yeah, Mario likes to run the ball. But at the end of the day, well, our words say it's not the gospel. Those are all thoughts and speculation. And now these kids are now stuck until maybe they can get out next year if it doesn't fit. This is the business part of it that I've been trying to tell people about. It's family. It feels like family. Well, guess what? Papa just walked out the door. He said he was going to get a pack of cigarettes and never came back. Gone.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Coach. But I just want to call in and say my 2 cents about that.
I appreciate you, Shad, man. Thank you so much, man. Let me get this 770 in.
All right.
Yep. Good call, man. Y'all go check out Shad. He got his own channel as well. He does a great job. Anything you want to follow before we get on the next caller, Don?
No, I mean, I didn't know you was going Dennis Edwards. Papa was a Rolling Stone, but, at the end.
No, but I was just being real. Like, these kids get caught up with these relationships because here's a prime example. Just like you brought up Brandon Ennis. Give me 1 second, caller. Brandon Ennis, you can tell, has a relationship with Brian Hartline. His decision is solely on Brian Hartline, not the Ohio State. Because like he said, if Brian Hartline leaves, then I'm going to have to reevaluate my decision. So his relationship is more important than the logo in brick and mortar.
Correct.
So to that same point is, guess what? Brian Hartline, baby, I'm here for you, baby. I ain't going nowhere, but I develop here. This is why I play. This is my alma mater. All right, coach, I'm going to sign on the dotted line, and guess what?
And to your point, that is why, guess who is the new offensive coordinator at Ohio State and will be calling plays now? Brian Hartline. Got a nice piece of change, got a little bit extra. So it's business.
Yeah, it is. Dante Turner say, damn, Pop's gone. Nah, he ain't gone. He just ain't never come back. You still at the window looking for him. He must have the stove in California. Anyway, call or talk to us, 770. Give us your name, where you're calling from. What's your thoughts on this deal?
Hey, Coach Hayes. How are you?
What's up, Lexi? Yeah, you thought I didn't know your name.
How you doing?
I mean, you going to be a fan? Lexus.
You said my name wrong, though.
Oh, Lexus. I thought you said Lexi, so I apologize. Lexus. All right, Lexus.
Disrespectful.
Concerning your topic, though.
Concerning who? Concerning who?
Concerning the topic, because you said when you call, stay on topic.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
is there some type of limit or rule or something? Unlike you guys, I love football, but unlike you guys, I'm not caring about all these details and 1-star and 2-star and 3-star and 4-star. Let these kids get on the field and play, and when they do that, then we'll find out how good they really are. And to me, it's just a conversation that we have on these types of shows. But the question is, I understand it's been rules that he had about 40 players out of the portal last. So is there some type of rule, standard, certain amount that you can have, can't have? Cannot you explain that to me a little bit better so I can get a better understanding?
Yeah, I can. It's just a roster rule from my understanding at this point. Meaning that you can only have but so many players. You can have 85 scholarship players on your team. All right. Total of 105. So those are the differences. What was that? 20 players. The differences are walk-ons you can have on the team. Am I right? 105, Dom? I think it's 105 total.
105.
So you can have 85 scholarship players. That means that the university pays their tuition, full tuition, right? And there's no partials in Power 5. People think, oh, you get a part. No, it's full or nothing. And then you have 20 walk-on spots where, some kids, daddy rich, he just want to be on a team or whatever, that case or whatever the case may be. And that's really what it is. That's all. That's right now when it comes to transfer. So, yeah, if you bad enough and can find 85 dudes and kick the whole team off, do your thing.
Okay, so the previous caller, I was listening to the previous caller, that if there was some type of breaking news or change in rule to this transfer portal. So was he misspeaking or was I misunderstanding him when he was saying certain players can't go in and out the portal more than once or something to that effect? I probably misunderstood him.
Dom, I could take it if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what the
Start it
original
off
rule
and then I'll
was, yeah. So what the original rule was, Lexus. The original rule was, the original rule was you can have a one-time transfer. Okay. That was the original rule. But prior to that rule even coming in, they had what they call grad transfers, meaning if you went to that institution undergrad and you graduated from that university, you could transfer and play right away, no harm, no foul. Okay, that was what they call a grad transfer. So you have 4 years to play 5. So some kids graduated in 3 years, some kids graduated in 4, but they still had an additional year to play. So they would take what they call a grad transfer and go to another university. Now you have a one-time transfer rule for the undergrad, right? Meaning if, a freshman at Georgia, I know you're a Georgia fan. Freshman at Georgia comes that first year. I don't like it. I want to go to Miami. He can transfer to Miami, no harm, no foul. But I think now it's some criteria in there now, right? Is that right, Dom?
Yeah.
Or no,
just one. Okay, so I'm triple checking it. So pretty much, you're right. Your first transfer is free. The second one is where you run into problems. So, for example, who's somebody that's hit the portal like 10 times?
Mark Pope is on his third transfer.
Oh, okay, so yeah. So for example, Mark Pope, first time he's good. Now, as a grad transfer, he's fine. Those rules are relaxed for graduate transfer. So, if you, like Hayes said, you graduate in 3 years, technically you can play 2 more years. And then there's obviously the COVID year, which just throws all of this in limbo. So you got guys who 7, 8 years playing football, which is just insane. But yeah, so let's just say Mark Pope, he hadn't graduated. He's in the portal his second time. There's a list and a criteria that he has to meet before he goes to the new school. If he does not meet that criteria, he's 6 out a year. And then anytime after that, so then let's just say he goes to this new school, he doesn't like it, he hits the portal again. You have to meet that. Oh Lord, 3 or 4 schools. You have to meet that criteria again. If you meet the criteria, you have immediate eligibility. If he doesn't, then you're sitting out again. So, hopefully
those are the
this kind of help. Yeah, that's
Got it.
that's
Now,
what it was supposed to be in the first place.
based on that, I will try to answer your question this way, Coach Hayes. But first, I'm going to let you know that I caught that analogy you gave to say a freshman that went to Georgia, don't like Georgia, decided to go to Miami. That would never happen. Not unless that head check. I'm just checking. I'm just teasing you. That's teasing you.
I'm hitting you with the crickets right now.
But I was to answer your question on a serious note, to answer your question that I understand it a little better. Thank you, gentlemen. I think the players should get an opportunity to use the portal to their advantage as much as they possibly can, without, of course, breaking whatever rules that may be in place. Now, we know how that is about rules. You know, rules are made to be broken. And so we know that, people break rules all the time. But if just to answer your question, that should the players have their, have the power, as you put it, to be able to with the portal that's in the way that satisfies them, I say yes, they should, as long as they're not breaking any rules and doing anything shady under the table. But with that being said, we probably all know that's probably going to happen too. So that's my answer to your question. And I thank you for taking my call as usual.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Hey, one step closer, Lexus, to becoming a fan. I love it. Talk to you later.
You
Thank
got
you,
a lot
baby.
of work to do. But I'll talk to you later.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. Great call from Lexus. I'm loving it. Chad 19490 says, what about situations like the tight end we just got, and he's still 2 years of eligibility left? So from apparently he's had some major medical issues. I think he had some medical red shirts in there. That's another dynamic, right? You have your typical red shirt, then you have medical red shirts. Then he had a COVID year. See, like he's stacking these deals, dog. Like this dude, he probably got red shirted. Then there was COVID, right?
That's another year.
Then then COVID. Then he had a medical red shirt. So think about it. That's 3 years of excused play. Red shirt, COVID year. See that finger? My bad. And then medical red shirt. And then he still has his 4 years of actual eligibility. So that puts him at 7.
So he had to get a special waiver. So that dang.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man.
We're gonna take I got one last call, and we out of here because I know you got to run, Dom, and so do I. But Shad, thank you again for the 419, excuse me. Oh, yeah, 419. Caller, talk to us 786. Hey, 786. I think I know who this is. Wait a minute, Ms. Wilcox. Don't you do it.
Let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. We're all here to do what we're all here to do. Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it. I thought you'd have figured that out by now.
Ms. Wilcox, the floor is yours.
Okay, let's rock this. Remember the last game I told you all? Gaddis blew out all 3 quarterbacks. Nowhere in history you can blow out 3 quarterbacks and stay on a team. That's money up on the table. He got paid doing that. So wherever he hid, he get extra dollars. Let's go on to the next. I told you, where's Ed Reed? But Ed Reed doing what Ray Lewis was not supposed to do. Ray Lewis was supposed to be in that Bethune-Cookman, but they got Ed Reed. Now Deion Sanders made his move, but when he made his move, he got to face the boys. He wasn't clean. They made him clean, so they got to clean it up and take him. That means he leveled up due to the fact that Jackson State didn't do right with the money. It doesn't matter when and when, high and high, they was going to do it anyway. So he had to get off the table. Now he's going to be controlled. He has just stopped the transportable where you can go in and out. You're going to hear the new rules for 2024 that the guys cannot come and go as they please. They're going to have to sit out when they transfer. That's in 2024. I'm a year ahead of y'all. And I've been giving you signals that all these change because Deion Sanders got to be stopped. And even though Miami got the money to do what they want, and this young man, mama, is not listening. And I'm not against her. I understand she wants the best. But when now we in recession called reset, you better get your money where the money is. Miami giving you the money, and that's millions. Deion Sanders don't run anything. He's got to build his own foundation to hold Colorado up because, you know, you got Auger, you got Nebraska, you got TC over there. He just 11-1. He got to make them look good.
Right.
And they're going to cool him down, and they already cooled him down because the SEC going to come up with that $55,000 a year contract from every institution. There's only 2 schools that already have their rights to do what they want with billionaires. Those billionaires' contract is Miami and USC. Nobody else can touch them because if I told you go to the courtroom, look in the library, it tells you what law is who does what.
Yes,
but the young man, mama, is not listening. He already accepted the money from Miami, but I wouldn't go and put him over in Deion Sanders territory because Deion Sanders is red flag, 3 red flags already.
That's right.
And everybody going to see that in 2024. And have a good night. Bye.
Bye, Ms. Wilcox. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Oracle. We are here to do what we're here to do. I thought you knew that by now. So with that being said, phone line is closed. I'm turning it off. Mic drop. Ain't got nothing to say. Dom, any last things you'd like to say?
Nope.
We go ahead and
Nope. I'm good.
So
follow us, lactic acid. I forgot my own channel. Lactic acid with Don Smith on YouTube. We're gonna make this a buy one get one free. So better yet, 2 for the price of 1, and that price is 0. So as soon as you get done clicking on Coach Hayes, subscribing, hit that notification bell. Then head on over to Lactic Acid with Dominic Smith. Do the same thing. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and also hit us up on Twitter. Hayes, I think you're at CoachHayesFootball on Twitter and Instagram, and I am at Lactic Acid with Dom Smith on Instagram. And don't even worry about Twitter. I can't even remember it. That was just such a bombshell that I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna tell you. Listen, when I say your
Hayes
brain
got
be
its own.
when I say listen, when I say we got our own Oracle here, y'all. I'm
and
telling
he got
you.
his own intro for it. I thought my computer was getting hacked when the intro video played, and I, okay.
That's what happens. That's the kind of effect. That's why I listen attentively. I make sure I'm listening. Because I'm telling you, you may not get it today, but Dom, you're going to be at a red light. You're going to be eating French fries. And you're going to be like, oh, that's what she was. I'm telling you, I've done it many a times. So with all that being said, I thank everybody that popped through tonight. We're here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. We also do the other Coach Me Coach podcast throughout the week with hot topics that come up. We just did one, had a very good one yesterday. Very interesting with a young man who starts called HBCU Pulse. His name is Randall Barnes. We had a very good conversation, a good dialogue about the Ed Reed rant for the Bethune-Cookman, the Instagram and TikTok rant I believe he went on. Go check it out. It is a little lengthy, but it is a great conversation of how things can be looked at from both sides. So please go check that out. And we dissect. We actually go through and deconstruct is the right word. The videos. So you can scroll through. You'll see the videos. You can stop it there. I don't mind. But go through that part. Go check it out. I think it was very informative. And we're going to try and do some good things there, man. I really enjoyed that conversation. So with all that being said, I'm about to get up out of here. You about to get up out of here, Dom. And with all that being said, Coach Hayes will catch you at the 50-yard line. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Peace. Now I'm gone.